All right, I have returned. Thanks for sticking around. And so, what is the difference between restart game and restart level? I think, kind of in the name, it seems like reset game would be like a very extreme thing versus restart level. I think, let's see here. So reset game, obviously we're calling it here, but we also call it from main.gd and the script provided by the template. So reset game is essentially what is supposed to set up the game start, right? So we show the game scene, we start the music player, we hide the game menu, we unpause the scene tree, and we call reset game to kind of set up the game state, right? Because the way that I've structured things in this template and these games so far is that the game scene is present in the scene tree from the start. And so like the ready function has already been called, like when the program launches, essentially. So reset game is really setup game. So I think what I want to do here is rename to setup game, add docs, add placeholder in game manager, add comment explaining that it sets up initial game state on start. Right, that's the only place the existing stuff calls reset game, is just on game menu start game, right? So if you back out of the game fully and then you start a game, this is called. Versus so copy that, create that. So this is just creating issues for the template repo, so we can go back and we can improve the template for future games. Here, I'm gonna also rename it to setup game, right? And so that applied that. And so then the question was, what's the difference between reset game and restart level? So where are we calling restart level? So when we click the restart button in the pause menu, it calls restart level. So yeah, I think this is fine for now. So I think the answer is, what's the difference between these two is that restart level is if the game is currently running, like we're actively doing things and we want to reset the game state back to how it was, versus the game has like, we've not initialized anything. There might be like, we might need to add the player object to the scene tree or whatever we need to do. We might have different things to do for restart level versus setup game. And is that the best name for that? I don't know. It's going to depend on the game that we're making, right? So add comments for explaining that it is run when restarting from the pause menu. Okay, anyway, so let's try this again. So what did I do? I hit new game and then I pause and I hit restart. Okay. What did I want to do next? Oh yeah. Let's duplicate and move. And we are going to do something like this. Maybe over here. Yeah, that should be fun. Fine. Maybe not fun, but fine. It occurs to me, so the dead zone, it feels like instead of having to continually like expand it wider and wider for the level, I should just make it so that it follows the player horizontally. Like our character body 2D here has signals. No. Not like a move signal, no. Okay. Let's put a pin in that. So let's add that to our notes of things to figure out. Make dead zone follow player so that I don't have to keep expanding it. Some other things. So Idiot Coder had mentioned that there's a plugin called, hold on, it's in, I put it in the Excalidraw thing, Ghost Camera. What's up with the TLS handshake error? Phantom camera? It's ghost-like. I wonder if this is what they were referring to. A camera add-on for Godot. Not sure if this is going to be a... Oh, no, okay, there is a Phantom camera 2D. And 3D. So you have a follow mode, you have priority and zoom. Tween parameters, okay. This looks interesting. MIT licensed. We could download. Okay, and so this puts in add-ons, a Phantom camera. And it's a bunch of things. A lot of things. Just because I'm sure it has, it has both 2D and 3D and lots of things, lots of, features and capabilities. Let's install it and see how that goes. I've not really done much in the way of plugin stuff. Okay. So if I go to the game and I add a child node and I say, okay, I was hoping that would, oh, I probably have to, project settings, plugins, enable. Cool. Oh, hey, look, and they have a little thing, phantomcamera.dev. Okay. This is really what I wanted. It's just like, here's the documentation. So dynamically switch between camera positions by changing a priority value. Make the camera follow a specified target using one of the positional logics. Tween, define duration and ease type when camera transitions between different phantom cameras. Rotate camera to always point towards the target. Yeah, okay. Docs. Shorten to pcam, and pcam, this is the primary node type for this add-on. Okay. Scene requirements. Once installed, and to get started with the add-on, a given 2D, 3D scene will need the following minimum setup. A camera 2D, camera 3D node, without a parent node except for the scene's root. Okay. A phantom camera host node as a child of the camera 2D, 3D. Huh. And then at least one phantom camera 2D or 3D node without a parent node except for the scene's root. Oh, I see. So this is freestanding under the root. There's a camera and then there's a pcam host. This is okay. Where as you move the phantom camera around, the camera is now following it. Okay. Good. Follow modes, look at modes, noise, lots of options. Do I need all these options? No. Will I at some point in the future? I think maybe so. Okay, so let's collapse all of this. And we will add a camera, 2D. And we will add a phantom camera host. And then we add a phantom camera 2D. Follow mode. I should read about what the follow modes are. Tween resource, tween download. Okay, cool. Phantom camera host. Host layers. Camera 2D. Okay. So how do I tell the camera to follow the player? Phantom camera 2D shortened to pcam 2D. Okay, let's look at follow mode. So glued sticks to its target. Symbol follows its target with an optional offset. Group follows multiple targets with the option to dynamically reframe itself as targets move further apart. It's really interesting. Path follows the target while being positioned confined to a path node. So imagine like the camera is on a track and has to follow that track, but is trying to like keep the target in frame. Applies a dead zone to the frame and only follows its target when it tries to leave it. So this feels appropriate this feels right for when I think of like camera behavior for a platformer, right? Where like the camera doesn't move unnecessarily until you start to leave frame and then it follows. Maybe. Okay. So installation, let's read this. Asset library, we did it. We did that. And then there's an example scene. So I guess we could look at the example scene. Let's go ahead and set the camera to have a follow mode of framed. Aha! And then we have a follow target. So we will follow the player. Brilliant. So what if I just run this? Okay, so that has some implications with how things work, right? Because I think in retrospect, it would be better to have the game menu be a thing where we like unload the game. And so like we have a menu scene and then we unload the menu and load the game. Something like that? I don't know. But yeah, that's causing an issue. Look at that. So I thought that, well, I didn't think I was going to make that jump. I thought that this would not quite so nearly follow. Snap to pixel frame preview. Tween on load. So what does tween on load mean? If enabled, the moment a Phantom Camera 2D is instantiated into the scene and has the highest priority, it will perform its tween transition. Okay, so we probably want to turn this off, and we want to instead enable that. Oh, that still didn't do what I wanted. Frame preview. It's cool. Follow target. Follow mode. Right. So there must be a dead zone. Yes. Find some horizontal area, dead zone area. Not to be confused with our dead zone, which is like where the player dies if they enter. While the target is within it, camera will not move in the horizontal axis. Okay, so let's this is why we weren't seeing the behavior that I was expecting. So if we make this like 100 by 50. Ooh. What does this do? Enables the dead zones to be visible when running the game from the editor. Oh, I see. So like if I play this, then we see the dead zone in the game. Oh, I see. Wait, what? 1? Oh, I see. Is this supposed to be... Is this supposed to be a value between 0 and 1? Like 0.5? 0.25? Okay. What's that look like? Aha, okay. So cool. So as long as the player is within these bounds, the camera doesn't move. I think I want the vertical one to be smaller. Oh. Okay, let's turn that off. And restart. Now I just need to figure out how to disable the camera until the game starts. Right, so... Whoops. There you go. Okay, interesting. Also, this dead zone needs to be a little bit lower. We can just like disable this, right? Enabled, on. Okay, so if I disable the camera, great. Because then in game.gd on game reset, we enable the camera. Great. No. So then we want to disable the camera when we leave the game, when we go back to the main menu. How does the UI do that? So like if we're in So if we're in the pause screen and we try to go back to the main menu, thus ending the game, we emit return main menu. Whoops. Which is connected to the main scene. Do we literally just hide the game scene? I guess if we... It's not great. Emitted when the canvas item is hidden, no longer visible in the tree. On hide. Connect. Okay, cool. So is this the best way to do this? Probably not. It definitely feels like this is something where I really should just be loading and unloading scenes. That feels like that would be cleaner. But and the menu, hold on, resume. Wait. So if I and then I've locked the game because the menu is over there. So we need things to follow the camera. How do we do that? Hold on, let's look at something really quick, right? So can we see remote main, new game, game scene, camera, oh, okay. Maybe I should look at the example scene. How about that? Putting that off. Example scene 2D. Let's see. Let's widen this a little bit. Okay, 2D example scene, 2D follow framed example, 2D limit, 2D example. Okay, let's just take a look at this. Ooh, fancy. Yeah, so they have a background. They have a tile map. We've not done the tile map stuff yet. We'll need to do some stuff, but UI inventory, UI sign controls, camera 2D is that. And there's the player. Player area 2D, collision shape 2D. Show more player visuals, dark overlay. Background. Okay, that's that. Interesting. Don't save. Okay, subscenes for the playable character, sure. Okay. Not very helpful. Let's go back to the docs maybe. Look at modes, noise, resource type, Phantom Camera Manager. It's a singleton that runs in the background and manages add-on nodes. Viewfinder. Preview what the camera sees when attached to a PCAM. Timeline animation, editor, updater, FAQ. So what's this all about? It's talking about jitter. All of this is talking about jitter. Okay. Follow modes overview. Okay, I think what I need to do is I just need to go back to the just Godot docs and look at what is camera 2D. Camera 2D. Camera node for 2D scenes. Camera, yeah, okay. Forces the screen to scroll following this node. Makes it easier and faster to program scrollable scenes than manually changing the position of canvas item-based nodes. Cameras register themselves in the nearest viewport node when ascending the tree. Only one camera can be active per viewport. If no viewport is available ascending the tree, the camera will register in the global viewport. Okay. There is a 2D platformer demo. Let's view files. So when we look at a level, level.scene. No, I'm not going to try to parse all that. Is this something where what I need to do is I need to have a viewport? What is a sub viewport? interface to a game world that doesn't create a window or draw to the screen directly. To display UI in 3D space. Okay, probably not what I want then. Window. Set viewport. So something interesting, the docs for Phantom Camera said for the scene requirements that the camera 2D needs to be under the scene as root. Let's see. Let's try some research. Godot camera 2D. Static. UI. Here's a Reddit post. "2D scene, GUI layer, has to be stationary, independent camera zoom or position. Put the GUI on a canvas layer node." What is a canvas? Canvas layer. Canvas layer. Canvas item derived nodes that are direct or indirect children of a canvas layer will be drawn on that layer. Well, actually, hold on. It said one more thing that I think was relevant. Let's go back to there. Canvas layer. We'll draw on the layer. The layer is a numeric index that defines the draw order. The default 2D scene renders with index 0. So a canvas layer with -1 will be drawn below. Canvas layer with index 1 will be drawn above. This order will hold regardless. It can be hidden, and they can optionally follow the viewport. Yeah, okay. Embedded windows are placed in the layer 1024. Okay. Interesting things. So, but of course, the menu is not even in the scene. Let's take a look at properties here. Layer 1. Okay, visible. So, follow viewport. What does that do? If enabled, the canvas layer stays in a fixed position on the screen. Ah. Okay, so like that. So, what I want to do is delete this. Then we go to the UI scene, which is this thing. And we add a child node that is a canvas layer. And then everything is under this. And then the canvas layer, we say visible, we follow viewport, and we probably have broken things because of the fact that we have these relative paths here. So this is all needs to be like canvas layer slash. Okay. So, new game. Interesting. New game. Quit. Something didn't work there. Yeah, we have things that we're not using. That's fine. Okay. What if I undo all this? I undo this. I change this. Can we change type? How do you feel about that? Instead of it being a control, it's a canvas layer? Nope. Script inherits from native type control, so it can't be... Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Canvas layer. Identifier size, not... Okay, so it doesn't have a size or a position. Maybe that's a good thing? Okay, we have a menu. That still works. And the menu follows the screen. That's good. Yay, all right, success. Okay, so if I end game and I quit. So now going back to the game, if we want the dead zone to always be present, can we do a similar thing where we create a canvas layer and put the dead zone in the canvas layer? And then we set this to be like that. In which case the dead zone no longer needs to be the size that it is. It can be just the size of the screen, I guess. Right, so if I run this, what happens? So if we go over here and I fall off, we don't hit it. Okay, so that didn't work. Good to know. Transform visible enabled scale. Let's add a sprite just so that we can see it in the world. Oops. Placeholder. And okay. Then what I wanted to do is I want to move the dead zone a little bit higher so it's like visible on screen. And I mean, I think we've already established, right, that it's not following the player, or it's not doing what I want, but now we can see it. We can see it. Yeah, there it is down there, right? So if we do this, boop. But if we go over here, yeah, it's not following us, which is interesting because the menu does. What's up with that? Transform. Huh. Follow viewport enabled. Okay, well that didn't work. So we're gonna unwind that. There we go. I guess the thing to do is we can definitely just, we already have a script attached to Dead Zone. So we can just do something like func process. Update the dead zone's horizontal position to match the camera's position is interesting claim. Okay. And then let's get rid of that warning by putting an underscore there. So will this work? Let's resize our dead zone collision shape again. Right, it doesn't need to be that big. Because it just needs to be, I mean, honestly, it doesn't need to be that big at all, because wherever, well, we shouldn't follow the camera position though. We should follow the player's position. I mean, we could do that, or we could do this. Now, does this work? There's no player. Right, because that's not... let's see. Yeah. Can we do that? Is that allowed? So if I go over here and fall off, that should result in a reset. It does not. That's too bad. Okay. Well, for troubleshooting purposes, let's redo the thing that I did before of adding a sprite so that we can see what's going on. Okay. No. I scrolled while over the scroll bar. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but that is close enough. All right. What I would like to see is that as the player is moving, this moves. Oh, it does. The issue is that the dead zone now needs to have proper origin. Right. Can we just like, where's the transform? Okay, sure. I don't think that's right, but sure. Position. So if I run this, what does that look like? Okay. want that to be like right there. There. Then when we run off platform, boop, boop, boop. Great, success. All right. And then what we can do is we can position the dead zone like roughly where the player is, just so that we have a visual in the editor of that, because that's not going to matter. That's the position of the dead zone, which gets updated as the player moves around. And then let's remove the shape because we don't need to see that. And that means that in our to-do list, yeah, we did that. Cool. Well, it's progress. What next? Oh, And that's the end of the coffee. What do we want to do next? So how does parallax work? Parallax 2D. A node used to create a parallax scrolling background. Parallax 2D is used to create a parallax effect. It can move at different speed relative to the camera movement using scroll scale. This creates an illusion of depth in a 2D game. And there's a tutorial. This page covers how to use Parallax 2D, which is recommended to use over Parallax layer and Parallax background nodes. Cool. Okay, so this is the right thing. So they have a bunch of different things going on. 5 layers. And there's relative amounts of scale for the scroll, which results in this effect, right? Where the foreground moves faster than the background. Infinite repeat provides bonus effect, gives textures the illusion of repeating infinitely. Repeat size, tell the nodes that. Okay, cool. Okay, if we zoom out, then okay. Split screen. Okay, I don't plan on implementing split screen anytime soon, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, the parallax node supports adding nodes that render things as children, so you can use one or many nodes to make up each layer. To begin, place each node or nodes that you want to have scroll independently as a child of their own parallax node. Make sure the top left of the textures are at the 0,0 crossing, like in the image below. Oh, I see. So each of these is a parallax 2D? Is that what the little icon represents? So you have a node and we have a bunch of parallax. Okay. I think I understand. So we're going to create a node 2D called background. And then we're going to add a parallax 2D. Yeah, it is that icon. Cool. And then a sprite. And again, I don't know. I'm searching one. It's right there. And then I need an image, which we could make some stuff. But you know what we can do instead is we can go to maybe open game art and look for some like background images. 2D art. We want to look for CC0 and search for background. Ooh. Ooh. So that's a background. I wonder, let's open the zip. Oh, nice. Yes. Double check here. Yeah, created by Lewis here, CC0. So we can use it without asking permission or having to have attribution or anything like that. And there are layers, which is good. That's what we're looking for. So we copy. And then let me move this off screen for a minute. I'm going to log in so I can bookmark this. This website really does not like my password manager. There we are. It's me. Okay, cool. So, right, so I can add it to, I can say I'm using this and add to favorites. So I keep track of all the stuff I grab from Open Game Art. And then, so that I can look at my profile, and you could too. And see all of my favorites. Anyway, so back to that zip file. Copy all those things, and then we go into here and assets, images, or textures. How was I supposed to organize this? Let's see. Hold on, can we just do like this? Yes. Cool. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So we're gonna do what? Mountain background. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to, I guess I can just duplicate this, right? And then we'll rename this to, then we want to do mountain far and then mountains. Let's look at the get a sense of kind of what the intent here was with this setup, right? So mountain far and then mountains, and then the smaller trees and then the larger kind of foreground trees, right? So this would be okay. So this should be mountain far, mountain background. Wait, no. Yeah, I now have a typo. Background. Mountain far. Mountains. Near. And then mountain trees. Or just trees. And then foreground trees. Foreground. Okay. Can I drag and drop into a sprite like this? Yes. Nice. Okay, what are we missing? Okay, that looks like everything. Really cool. That someone made some nice art and shared it with anyone to use. All right, well, it looks like we're taking a break, so we're gonna pause here and then we'll make this into the backgrounds and see it all work. So I'll be back in just a couple minutes with some more.